even though nobody wants to talk about it. So what's the difference? Fizz, Collins, Ricky. Fizz is spirit, citrus, sugar, soda. Collins, spirit, citrus, sugar, soda. Huh? G&T. Well, okay, so use tonic water instead. Ricky, no sugar. I like
Speaking of the Ricky,
I like Ricky's.
there was a great lost cocktail around 1895 in Cuba. These Americans were out with their Cuban hosts for drinks, and they had this wonderful drink. They heard the Cuban host saying to the bartender, uno mismo. So the next night, when they were out without their hosts, they went back to the same bar, and they said, bartender, give us more of those o mismos. And the bartender knew which drink it was, so he made it for them. And soon this spread around Santiago de Cuba, and it made it across Cuba. Then it got printed in New York newspapers, Washington, Florida, and it spread all across the eastern United States. For a few years, people were drinking o mismos. It's
I love
a
the
very
way people
simple
name
drink.
things.
It's completely forgotten today, but a wonderful drink. It is simply a Collins with no sugar. It is just rum, ice, sparkling water, squeeze citrus into it. Beautiful with white rum or with aged rum. For customers looking for skinny drinks, this is a skinny drink.
It's as skinny as it gets.
The funniest part of this, though, is what these guys were actually saying. Uno mismo meant another round, please. May I have another?
Okay, one last family. One last family. Dessert. Don't forget, people do like a little sweet in life. They like a little dolce in life. Why not?
You can steal business away from the kitchens with this.
Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that we did the Black Russian. One of the best bartenders in the world, Dick Bradsell, when he sees me walking into his bar, he just goes, you, Black Russian, now.
Oh, no, no.
Like,
he does that if he sees you walking into the bar and he knows you've just had dinner.
Yes, then he knows
Then he
Black
does it.
Russian, but also White Russian. Alexander. Alexander's a weird one because everybody thinks it's only brandy. I've made them with blended scotch very successfully.
Brandy
I've made them with
Alexander's.
gin. Huh?
Brandy Alexander's with brandy. The original Alexander was with gin.
Yeah, with gin, which is also, gin and cream are fantastic together. Don't snarf. It's wonderful. Grasshoppers. I've irritated Audrey Saunders from Pegu Club coming to our house saying, okay, ready for dessert. Out come grasshoppers and a piece of super dark chocolate. She had 4 of them.
With Corsican mint.
And Corsican mint on top.
If you ever wondered why creme de menthe does not taste like mint, it's minty, but it's not mint tasting, that's because it's made with Corsican mint. The Corsican mint does not grow up. It's very short, very small leaves, and it tastes like a mint candy.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff to work with.
The other one to consider that actually I've reopened my eyes to this is if you look at milk punch. Now, milk punch sounds like it's a boring thing until you realize you can make changes to the milk. You can use full fat milk. You can add a touch of condensed milk to it to add a little bit of softness and sweetness. You can add a touch of double cream instead, again, to add softness and sweetness. It does not have to be sugar inside. Believe it or not, you could play with different syrups. You can play with maple syrups. The variations and possibilities of making a punch with spirit and milk are actually quite amazing. You can spend an entire afternoon and get very fat testing this, but it does work. Ready? We're in the home stretch. High points and pitfalls. Honey, it's up to you.
Drinks for competition, drinks for your bar, or creating new classics. All completely different drinks. When you are going into competition, you are making drinks for the palate of 4 or 6 people. Probably you already know their names.
That's a help.
If not, you can probably find out who is going to be judging you. And I bet you anything, those judges are on Facebook. You can look through and see what drinks they like.
You can find out if they like sugary drinks or juicy drinks.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Everyone talks about what they like, what they don't like.
Yeah.
You want to win that competition, start by looking at the judges' tastes. It will make a huge difference. If you want to create a new classic, you have to go to the most important 3 points. That drink has to be simple, few ingredients. It has to be universal. Those ingredients must be available around the world. And people have to be able to replicate this easily. If you are desiccating something in the oven, maybe making Campari crystals that then work into a dry ice, that's not going to become a classic. It's just not. Look at the Negroni, the Martini, the Manhattan, the Daiquiri. These all have this in common. They are simple, they are universal, they're replicable.
But we do have to have one qualifier on that, though, which is the story of Trader Vic. Trader Vic, when he first opened up Hinky Dinks, it didn't start out being a tiki bar. It did after he went to Cuba, after he met Constante and said, please, show me how to make a drink. He did not. He admits this in his biography. He did not replicate what he brought back from Havana. He adapted it for an American audience. He admitted that every single drink he served that was allegedly Cuban was actually an Americanized version of what he had learned. And so you have to understand the same thing. You're going to make if you find a drink when you go around the world that you like, you are going to have to come back and adapt it because the fruit doesn't taste the same. You know, and many times the water doesn't taste the same. And then we go there.
Drinks for your bar, completely opposite rules. Today, you can get the same rum and Coke in every bar on the planet. The ultimate luxury, the ultimate indulgence is a drink that can only be had in one place in the world, in your bar. This is the drinks where you go for complete individuality. If you are making your own bitters, fantastic. They only have to make it past 1 point. And that's... Oh, you're going to interrupt me. I'll come back to what I'm going to say.
No.
Yeah?
I was just telling you.
I know. Spin on past that. Where is it? 3 words.
Oh. You're going to go all the way to there?
I'm going to jump ahead to there and then come back.
Okay. 3 words.
Yeah. When I am judging competitions, I always have score sheets of appearance, technique, aroma, etc., etc. Before I look at this, and I know every other judge consciously or subconsciously does the same thing, I put that drink up to answering a 3-word question that you have to do to your drinks as well when you're making them for your bar, whether you're doing it for competition or trying to create a classic. Is it good? Is it good? I don't care how cool it is, how rare the ingredients, how amazing the new technique is. Could I have 3 of them? Yeah. You have absolutely lost. If someone comes into your bar, you make them your new drink, and they say, wow, that was fantastic. Can I have a beer? Yeah, they enjoyed it, but mostly that happens when you straw taste. Okay, if you are not sitting down and drinking 3 of your drink...
There's 3 drinks.
When you're testing a new drink, if you don't sit down, have one, have another, have a third, If you just straw taste, that is going to happen every time. It throws off the intensity, plus straw tasting a drink is exactly like sipping from a glass while holding your nose. And what that does is you only taste it on the back palate, the retronasal versus the orthonasal. And this is where most of the sensation is.
So I should tell you that the second drink you had was actually a variation on a Spanish drink. This is a case of what happens when you take away a piece of information. The carajillo is a hot drink made on the espresso machine where you heat up rum, you add a touch of sugar, then you put you literally put the espresso in and serve it. This guy lives in the Cayman Islands. He said, but I love the taste of coffee and rum together. So what did he do? He stuck espresso beans into the shaker, put a nice bit of zest, lime zest in, put the aged rum in, and just went, bang! All of a sudden, just enough of an essence of coffee that it wasn't too hard to take while you're in a very hot country, in a very tropical country. So it's a lovely inspiration. This drink is called the Momento, another one that's fascinating because the guy wanted to create a drink that could be replicated anywhere. The level of simplicity is, there we go, is the fact that you can find pineapple juice, fairly fresh, easy enough to do. Vanilla syrup, if you can't find vanilla pods and stick them with sugar syrup, you have a problem. Angostura. We better be able to find aromatic
with which bitters? No, I believe we used Fee's old-fashioned aromatic bitters today from
Mr.
Joe
Fee. Hello, Mr. Fee. There you go.
Was born not far from where I was born in upstate New York. He hasn't been able to escape it, so he still gets snowed in every winter. But luckily, he wasn't snowed in this week, so you can find him over here with his great selection of bitters. Thanks for the loan of the bitters.
We're going to have to go soon because we have to be over building one,
so
signing books. But the reason why we had these two drinks is to explain one other simple thing about these two drinks. These guys did not have weeks and months to develop this. We put them under pressure of 12 hours. We threw them out into a market, said, go find something that looks interesting, play together, come back in 12 hours and come up with some drinks. These were two examples of those drinks. So again, creativity does not have to be one of those things. It's like, you can have spontaneity, an impromptu invention sometimes is 1,000,000 times better than obsessing your brains and overworking something and overthinking it to a point of, I really don't want to drink that thing ever again.
So,
and we do have to go.
It's competition day.
Yes.
You have adhered to the rule of simplicity in your drink, because as Antoine de Saint-Exupéry said, perfection is not achieved when there is nothing more to add, but when there is nothing left to take away. When you are making your competition drink, look at which ingredients you can get rid of to make that drink. When you're making your classic, get rid of ingredients, strip it down to the perfect drink, and that is how you make a classic. But on competition day, you've researched the judges, you've studied the history behind your ingredients, you have rehearsed the drink again and again, you're ready to make it, and you walk in and you're doing this. There is a trick to overcoming this, actually. There are two. One,
we have to hurry.
Okay, yeah, I know.
Okay.
Is alcohol. This is a depressant. It stops hands from trembling, and if you're competing, you've got a lot of alcohol in front of you.
Author's message,
Do one.
Relax.
Do 2 shots. Don't do 3, it's not going to go so well, but a shot or 2 will steady your hand. Go with it. Also, the Hayashi technique. My mentor, who got me my first job in the industry in the mid-'80s, was one of the best presenters and public speakers I've ever seen.
I know.
He's confident. He was happy on stage. And I asked Mr. Hayashi how to do it. And he said, it's very simple. I get someplace where I can be completely alone, and I make sure my fly is closed. And that's it. And if you think about that before you go on stage to compete, shut up. What, you think I didn't hear you?
I know you didn't.
Okay, just checking. Go on stage with a smile. When you step on stage, you own this bar. If it's a mess from the previous competitor, don't start. Clean it. Set it for yourself. Own the bar. The judges are now your guests. Do they need water? Check with them. What do they need? They're your guests. Own that. Interact with them. Don't be worried that you're on stage. Someone will eventually try to drag you off stage.
Like right now.
Okay. Good night.
Time, honey. Gotta go.
That was it.
Okay. But that's what we have to say. Thank you. Come on over to Building 1. We're going to be over there playing with books, and he'll talk his ass off for at least another 45 minutes.
We're signing books in Building 1.
Building 1.
Building 1.
So
That's
there you
it,
go.
signing books.
Thank you.
Perfect.